wanted to ask Nikhil about since Baba came much later in your life and he's not in the body, how do you know that? Not how do you know, but what does service mean? Like, how does one understand what service should be in that case? And even when a guru is in the body, what does service mean? And connected to that is what really is bhakti in our everyday practice to the guru and to the guru.
It's a very beautiful question. I would first like to talk about this could apply to any master. Serving your guru, whether your master is in body or not. See, I had the great fortune of meeting my Guruji and being with him for 10 years, Pujya Dharamdas Baba. And in those 10 years, I would go to him maybe 3 or 4 times a year for a few days. And I realized most of the time, by just remembering your master, thinking of him, you are connected with your master. So, specifically in Baba's case, it was in 2015 when I had come to Shirdi for the first time, and as I said, I would spend a lot of time in the Ramana ashram, and I found all the books, all the teachings very neatly organized. There were devotees there who would very kindly explain to people that read this book, this is what, so if you're new, you have someone guiding you properly. When I came to Shirdi, I saw flocks and flocks of people there, but there was no proper library, someone who can hold your hand and say, okay, this is the book you should read first, then read this, like read Incredible Sai by Arthur Osborne, then read the Satcharit. There are two versions of the Satcharit. There's the abridged one and the full one. You could start with the abridged, but make sure you read the full. Even that much, there was no one. I went to the library, I went to the bookshop, but there was nothing. And then the feeling arose, and at that time I would not even say I was Baba's devotee, that I said, for such a great master, how can we not have a library? At least this we should have. That was the feeling that arose. That coming from Bhagwan Ramana, such a great master, how can this not be present? And that was the feeling from which it began, and Baba got it done. So, I was not Baba's devotee, but I said, for Baba, at least this has to be put together. So that is how House of Sai happened. And then I met a great devotee of Baba's called Dr. Vinny Chitluri. She spent around 30 years in Baba's Seva in Shirdi. And she gave me a list of books that the Mahabhaktas had written. And I said, they are not available. It's very difficult to get access to this. So over about 5 or 7 years, we procured those, got them back into print, put a Kindle library. So all these books are available as free downloads on House of Sai. And then with it came the photographs. So coming back to your question, I think it was very simple. If it just comes to that one thing, the feeling, like, what can I do? And I'm built as a publisher. In fact, I met Gautam initially for publishing. Gautam ran a publishing or runs a publishing house called Yogi Impressions. And I too had a publishing background and we had a common friend. So I actually met Gautam initially for publishing work. Thereafter, the connection went forth. But it comes down to this one thing, that feeling, like, what can I do? And then the master himself gets it done. I mean, over the years, I can't say I have done anything. It's all his grace. But yes, I distinctly remember it was that very strong feeling standing there in Shirdi saying, how can this not be there? Like, it needs to be. And I didn't know what, how, but over the years, it then fell into place by his grace. And sometimes that feeling may arise, which is natural in bhakti, that, oh, I would like to have Baba's darshan, or like you feel that pining happens. But I always remind myself of this, that even the Mahabhaktas were with Baba for maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks in a year. But rest of the time, how were they rooted, like connected to Baba? Faith. I mean, those devotees of that time, as Gautam said earlier, simple minded, absolute faith. And Baba has said, where his Leelas are sung, when even we were doing the bhajan, you can then immediately feel Baba's presence. So, wherever Baba's Leelas are sung, the recitation, Satsang happens, Baba's presence is clearly felt. So, for me, that becomes a great remembrance of the Mahabhaktas, taking inspiration from them. So to me, it doesn't matter whether Baba left his body, did not. It's this sentiment, and I would say faith. That's the crux of it.
I want to add here about Dr. Vinny Chitluri. I never got the chance to meet her, but we both were aware of each other through him. And what touched me, she was a historian. And it's very important to retain a historical account rather than distorted accounts of things. So, which is the work she did. But if I'm not mistaken, Nick, in spite of not having much money, she would take people around Shirdi to the spots Baba would visit. Now, that also costs money and time. But I don't know of a higher expression of love than someone who's a historian, who has a specific task, but who also feels that she must share the other spots which Baba was associated with in Shirdi with strangers. That was very moving to me.
For 20 years, she was a doctor based in the US, and she was fortunate as a child. She was taken to Narasimha Swamiji, who Gautam mentioned, that Bhagwan Ramana sent two devotees, Narasimha Swamiji and Arthur Osborne, to do Baba's Prachar. She was 6 years old at the time, and her mother was gravely ill. And they heard that Swamiji has come into town and he gives people Baba's Udi, and many people are miraculously healed. So they said, we've tried everything, why not try God? And they went to meet him. And he asked her father, Mr. Prabhu, that what do you want? Do you want a promotion? Do you want fame? Do you want money? He said, see, I can have everything, but I will not get a mother for my children. Please heal her. So he gave Udi and a mantra. And when doctors had given up hope, they told him, the family, that take her home, there's nothing that can be done. Within a week, she was up about running around, and they were quite taken aback. And as a little child, she was fortunate to sit in his lap. She even met Daskanu Maharaj.
Wow.
And you see the seeds of Rinanuban, the seeds of Prachar. A 6-year-old child later on in life, in her 50s, comes to India, stays there for 30 years. And as Gautam said, to take people summer, rain, every day, to take people in and around, only arises from that seva bhav. I mean, selflessly, she and her son still continues it, Sada. And when I was very fortunate to have met her, and we did a lot of recordings on Baba's Mahabhaktas, and through her videos, so much, has been recorded, otherwise it would have been lost.
And this Seva Bhav, see, you can only take people, strangers around if you love people. You cannot not like people and do this. It won't happen. So for me, this becomes an example of living the Master's teachings. It is very fluid and effortless. She didn't grudge the fact that it was her love to serve others, not just her master, because she saw her master in others. So simple. So that is what drove her. It was actually your good fortune, but I didn't get that chance to meet her, but I did visit her home. Nikhil took me there after she passed, sat there for some time. And I was happy to also find in her someone who was equally a victim of Nikhil's videography. And his
She
get up
was
early in the morning, get ready on time, everything is set, start.
2:30 a.m. we would start, and I think turning it back on to you. See, even Maharaj is laughing. Turning it back on to you, you should learn from her example. 2:30 a.m. in the morning, 74 years of age. Uh, Initially, she was very reluctant. No, 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 get out of here. I don't want any of this. But once she agreed and we started, I mean, I have never met someone that committed to their master, because see, at that age, it's not easy to recollect so many facts, figures, so much data. Like, it was not easy for her. But her commitment, I would say, was unparalleled. Like, even in COVID, we did the whole commentaries where she spoke on the Satcharit, because I requested her. I said, Ma, Hemad Pant, the author of the Satcharit, had said, I would like to share many more Leelas and things about Baba's life, but for the fear of the book becoming very lengthy, I'm holding myself back. So I said, you are the right person, because for 30 years you've met the descendants of these Mahabhaktas, you've got all the research. An additional commentary would be very nice if you could do. So I said, one help we can render is we can go through your writings and give you some sort of outline so you don't have to do too much research. She said, then I'm happy to do it. And during COVID, during the lockdown, we had a commentary series of around 53 chapters. Most of them are around 40 minutes, 30 minutes in length. And again, even though we were away, 1:30 in the morning, she would get up, do the recording, and now that has come into a book. 5 years after it was an audio series, it's come into a book. And I think that is a shining example of when we talk of, serving the Guru. Uh, she was a great example of that, completely. Your commentary is also midway.
I know. Baba willing, it will happen.
It will, it will. I like these gatherings where I can get public commitments from you. I'll come to all your satsangs.